Oh, we have fun.
Oh, man, I love it.
Did you guys ever watch Snick?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Alex Mack.
Roundhouse.
Alex Mack was
So hot.
fine.
Oh, my God.
I wanted
middle
to
school
be
fun.
her
Yeah.
so badly and be able to turn into a puddle
Yeah.
and sneak into people's houses.
Yeah, it's like Harriet the Spy.
Well, that was a very
with powers.
early, like, sexuality thing, right? Because, like, in the pilot or whatever, doesn't she, like, turn into a puddle and then come back, like, without her clothes on? I remember being, like, a little kid and being like, I'm horny, but I don't know what that is.
I don't remember her coming back naked.
That definitely happened.
I'm sure it did.
Because there was never a pile of clothes in the puddle, right?
She, like, figured out
how to make her
How
clothes.
how to make her clothes.
Transported.
It was like a skill she had to learn. Boy, I hope I didn't just make that up and this isn't a weird sex dream that I had.
We have literally hung you out to dry because I'm like, I could believe that that's part of it, but I'm also like, in my head, like, that's an insane thing if it's real.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem
we
very
just-
Nickelodeon.
it wasn't-
Everyone gets
Well, but it wasn't-
uncharacteristically quiet and stares at Kyle. Yeah, sure.
I remember because it wasn't played
Sexy.
to be sexy because she's a child.
She was embarrassed.
yeah,
like, oh,
it was
where'd
like
my clothes go?
exactly. Oh, I'm in school and I'm naked or whatever it was.
Yeah, that classic anxiety dream.
Where you turn into
that
a-
anxiety dream where like you're you're like a teenage girl not wearing your clothes, and a man in his 30s is recalling that experience. Deeply anxious
on his podcast.
Kyle's got his phone out. He's looking. He's
I'm just
currently
confirming.
Googling, did Alex Mack show up naked?
There
in
was
the
some
pilot?
headline. There was some Alex Mack controversy surrounding nudity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whatever happened to that actress?
She
Larissa
was on
Olin.
Mad Men.
Yeah, she was on an episode of Mad Men.
She was on a
no shit.
couple. She
Multiple,
was,
yeah.
She was Ken Cosgrove's wife.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So bit part.
Yeah, bit
recurring.
part. Not great. Not great.
Not great.
This show wasn't called The Secret Files of King Cosgrove's Wife. So she didn't make an impact.
Right.
What are you going to do? I feel like attractive actors and actresses that never really have a second act are a dime a dozen.
It's too bad because she was in 10 Things I Hate About You. You know, so
She
you would
was his
think
sister.
like,
Wait, Julia Stiles?
yeah,
No, she was Julia Stiles' little sister.
yeah, she was her sister.
Oh.
In that.
You guys were walking IMDb. I didn't remember that.
Yep.
1986,
Larissa
baby.
Oleynik, or whatever her name is.
Ethnic?
I think it's like Polish or
Yeah.
Russian or something.
Fun anecdote about Poles.
Oh God!
When I
Are you Polish?
I'm not Polish.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like Smith is. But I was in Germany once with a friend of a friend and we were staying with the friend of a friend's pen pal, like her childhood pen pal.
Okay.
Who
What?
she'd written letters to back and forth to this German guy for years and years and years, and so we finally stayed. We went to stay with him, and the idea was that we would stay there for a couple of days, and then we'd like kind of part ways. I was traveling with my sister and my sister's college roommate, and one of the first So our plan was that we were going to start with all the tragedy, and then like go to places where there wasn't, scars of war and history. So we were going to like hang out in Germany and then go straight to Auschwitz.
Yeah.
Really
Get that done.
Rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, you don't want to go to Poland. Oh, well, no, we do. We do. Like, why would we not go? That's part of the trip. That's what we want to do. And he goes, well, you don't want to go to Poland because they steal. So I was like,
Oh no!
all right, well, cool. This guy's cool. And then he like really dug me because at one point in time we were in his grandparents' home who weren't there. They were like in Northern Africa. Anyway, this is a weird. So we're hanging out in this German grandparents' house with this German who we don't know, and I was just sitting on a couch with my hands behind my back like this, reclining. Joe Cool, and he goes, "So cool, so American." And I was like, "Wait, I've changed my opinion about this guy. This virulent racist."
He's
Ready
clearly
to-
racist, but
Yeah.
he thinks I'm cool.
Yeah.
And so, I was pretty straight edge. And so at one point in time, he's like, "Yo, so I'm going to come with you guys on the trip." And we were like, whoa, hold the phone. He's like, "I'm going to just be with you the entire time." And, that was like a bit of a crashing vibe. Like we weren't into it. And he's like, and then I think he took us to buy drugs at some point in time before we left Germany. And we just basically told the roommate, we're like, fuck this guy. We don't want to be around him. We want to break up with him, basically. Like, you needed to tell this guy who you've been writing letters back and forth with for 15 years that this is not going to happen and this relationship is done. And so we told him, and then we said, like, we're going on the trip ourselves. Thank you for your hospitality, but this is over with. And then he did not take it well. And then we all slept in the German grandparent house overnight, and he didn't speak to us the entire night. And then he drove us. And I stayed up the entire night thinking somebody was going to kick the door down and axe murder me because it's German. It's Germany. Yeah. And then he just drove us to his train station. Didn't say a word. Blamed my sister for all of it. Didn't say a word to her. Didn't say a word to the friend. And then was like, "You're cool" to me. Like, I got on the train. And I was like, well, I guess.
Wait, did this German racist have problems with women too?
So, I mean, it was really truly a shocker at that point in time in the relationship. But it's maybe the most uncomfortable I've ever been. I think I just finished high school. And I was like, I'm going to die in this guy is going to kill us. Because I'm also like a good guest. So it felt impolite. I mean, he'd been nice to us.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, when World War III comes, I will not put up a fight. I'll just be like, right this way, invading army.
Putting your hands behind your head. No skin off my back. I'm Joe Cool.
What's the worst guest experience you've ever had? Have you guys ever been totally inhospitable guests?
Oh, man, this is a great question.
That's what you say if you don't have an answer, and it's not a great question.
No, I say when it's a good question, but I don't have an answer.
This requires too much thought, like going back over history of all the times I've stayed anywhere.
Do you know any Germans?
I had a roommate that was German. When I lived in London for a semester, I lived in a suite there were like 7 of us. And it was me and another American, a German man, a French woman, and then 2 English women. I don't know if that adds up, but that was how many people that I remember.
No, those types of people would never be in the same place.
No, I mean
those
like
numbers
the number.
At the same time.
So the German, I'm gonna be.
Please,
I hope he doesn't listen
German.
to this. His name was Mark.
Please, Mark.
He was so annoying.
Oh, I thought you were going to say so hot.
No,
I was like, all right,
he was so
this is
annoying.
better than my story.
He was very into burning movies.
Whoa!
On DVD.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
like my grandparents before me. I can't do a German accent. I love to burn
artisanal
movies on DVD.
I have a mini DVD crematorium. Oh God!
You're like, why is it so ashy? And
how do you get 6 million pirated movies on
But this is the
DVD?
worst thing he did. So for some reason he had an English accent. I mean, it wasn't like a true English accent, but like he had gone to like English school his whole life or something. So he was like talking about how he was like, "Oh man, I'm really stressed because I porked my best mate's girlfriend."
Porked?
He used the word "pork" to describe sleeping with his best friend's girlfriend.
Like, I schnitzeled me best mate's bird.
Yeah, it was bad. And I just like, I mean, I maybe wasn't the most open-minded at that time, but that I wrote him off completely after that and was like, "You're a piece of shit."
Yeah.
I don't want any of your DVDs.
Just a bunch of black and white movies, and then one of them's all red. Europeans, huh?
Oh, wow.
We are just getting into so much dangerous territory.
Speaking of Europeans, we watched a movie that largely took place in Europe, so let's get this podcast rolling. This is We Are Definitely Afraid of the Dark. It is the Scary Movie Podcast for people who are scared of everything. My name is Stephen Smith, and I'm afraid of everything.
And I'm Emma Holder, and I'm more scared of more things.
Yep.
And I'm Kyle Romero, and I'm a big, brave boy.
It's a new year.
Well, when you hear this.
By the time you're listening to this, we're recording this in high noon on New Year's Eve, and a new year means a new theme. We made it part of the way through our winter theme. We watched 2 Christmas movies, but we're kicking it off in the new year with a new theme. Kyle, will you do us the honors of explaining what our new theme is?
Absolutely, I will try.
Okay.
So, our theme for January to celebrate the New Year's baby, that classic holiday character, the sash. Wah, wah. That's right. It's evil children, spooky babies. New year, new you.
New year, new you. And so, so we had, I think, something of a kind of like good debate back and forward about exactly what we were going to settle on. And we settled on this. So we've got, coming up a pick from each of us about sort of like scary babies, and then ostensibly a guest. We're going to do a scary baby movie as well.
Surprise is coming.
Yeah, baby. But we have to start it off right. We have to have like a sort of archetypal evil child. And so we did none other than Damien.
We did it.
In the Omen.
The Omen.
The original bad boy.
Yeah. Did we ever settle on whether or not Damien is actually a biblical reference, or is that just a name that was sort of like squandered by virtue of it being the name in this movie?
I think it's a name
It doesn't
in the Bible,
feel-
but I don't
It feels
know.
biblical to me. No?
No, that's
Well, you guys
me.
are the Catholics. So
Yeah,
you
but
would
actually,
yeah.
Catholics don't really read the Bible
That's the
as
thing.
much as other Christians.
And also, we love this devil shit, and we love The Exorcist, we love The Omen. So we sort of conflate. We get a lot of our theology from the films.
Catholics?
I do.
I mean,
Wait, going back to what Emma
that was
said,
my
'cause
Catholicism
Emma
experience.
had the most well actually ever. Catholics don't read the Bible?
it's not that we don't, but like it's less focus on the Bible and more focus on guilt and shame and like doing Stations of the Cross.
Yeah.
But
Is how I grew up Catholic.
you
Yeah.
don't ever everybody stands and reads from it.
Oh,
the
we
way they
definitely
do.
do that.
During Mass, people
Yeah.
read from the Bible,
Okay.
but like I've never sat at home and
And
read the
just
Bible.
But
thumb
if you
through
were
it.
to go to, I feel like if you were to go to a priest,
Yeah.
be like, I'm having this problem, the priest would not like, well, at this point in the Bible, so and so did this. Like, it was always just like, say 10 Hail Marys.
Yeah,
Like, it's just,
Weird.
it's more about
it's
the
more prayer based,
penance.
and guilt and shame
and Pope based.
It's more, it's a more Pope centric religion.
his tweets are your Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like we never read the Bible at home. Like I don't know much of the Bible except I read Genesis in English class
Right. As like
in
sort
high
of, like,
school as like just
literary
like
reference.
a literary
Yeah.
reference. text.
Well, that's so funny because I think everything when I think about Christianity, well, I guess obviously it's not American, so then I'm thinking about kind of like Baptists and even to a certain extent Episcopalians, but like people just quoting verse all the time
Yeah.
as like sort of proof for what they say or think.
Sure.
You guys don't do that.
Well, I mean, they use the Bible like the Stations of the Cross. That's
What is
based on
that?
the Bible. It's all the different steps in Jesus' death. Like, we used to have to
Getting
do
his
it.
feet
The
washed.
crown of thorns.
The first time he falls, the second time he falls, there were like 10 or 12. And you
a lot of
walk
banana peels on the way up to Mount.
Sinai.
Sinai.
Oh, like the name of the hospital.
Yeah, you got it.
Guys, I'm a simpleton when it comes to sort of religious matters.
So when we did the Stations of the Cross,
Uh-huh.
we would either go to Mass to do it, go to church to do it, or do it at our house.
And what is doing it? Standing,
It
praying,
means-
singing.
Having a rosary.
Uh-huh.
And who knows if this is how other people do it. We would do the rosary for each station, which takes
What is doing
fucking
the
forever.
rosary?
So
Oh.
each bead on the rosary is a prayer?
What?
You don't know this?
Yeah, that's what rosary beads
Yeah.
are for praying.
They're
Every
so
beat
long.
is a prayer, and
A
they're-
different prayer?
They're in no.
It's,
It's
the
all
same prayer.
lots of
loop.
Our Fathers and Glory Be.
Can you do
Hail
one?
Marys.
Do
Hail
a,
Marys.
Is how
do a
I
Hail
always
Mary
did it.
for me.
Hail Marys, but then I think
You want a
they're-
Hail Mary?
Yeah.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners
You're
now
still
at the
going.
hour of our death. Amen.
I'm
And you
really
say
glad
that-
that you use the thy and the those because some people modernized it, and I don't fuck
no.
with that.
I'm not there
say,
for that.
They say y'all and
Yeah.
Yins
Y'all's
guys.
womb.
Yins guys. For my Pittsburgh Catholics.
Nimma.
Wait, so and then you do that like 100 times.
So yeah,
Or, like,
everything it's separated into
y'all, this is
sections.
torture.
So
Yeah, that's why my sister and I used to hide our rosary beads.
there would have like the rosary has like there'd be
Yours is
like
like
a
a
section of
little
like
charm
five
bracelet.
white beads, and then there'll be like a blue bead or what, whatever the color
Or
is.
a different size.
Yeah, different
If it's all the
size,
same
maybe
color.
too. Yeah.
So that's why nuns always have really long ones that hang low, like around their knees, because they're like deep.
I don't know about that, but
maybe.
they always
Bunch
have.
of fucking traitors.
And they're always singing that song about their crosses hanging low.
Do they wobble to and fro? Well, this is okay. So these are things that are kind of in the kind of cultural zeitgeist, but if you've never done them and never had any curiosity about literally ever, then it's all news to you. And I know that like Catholicism is a work-intensive faith, but Christ, it is a wonder. It's no wonder why people don't stick with it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, but we've
it's
talked
annoying.
about this before. Like, I love those rules. Like, having this very specific set of, like, having the bumpers up. And being like, this is what it is. It's very appealing to me.
Yeah, because it can just keep you on track.
Yeah, you just like, this is all I need to know is the Hail Mary. Like, I got that down, and I've got like a core. That's not all you need
to know the act of contrition and the glory to be. And
these are also other prayers.
Yeah, Our Father, and Hail Mary are the two big ones.
Those two big ones. Yeah.
And then act of contrition you're supposed to say as you walk up to get communion every week. Because if you don't, you're taking communion impure.
Yeah,
and that's bad.
Do Catholic masses ever have like a young, sexier priest with like sleeves rolled up where he like plays an acoustic guitar?
Modern.
Is that kind of thing happening?
I haven't been to a church in a very long time.
Me either. So you're really not asking experts.
But a few years ago, I did go to church because my parents were on a thing. They were just like, we're recommitting to the church.
Yeah.
So for Christmas, I went with them to a Catholic church Christmas service. And those motherfuckers were singing fucking Mercy Me fucking song, like just like straight up youth pastor acoustic guitar. And I was like, I've never felt more conservative in my life. I was like, absolutely
this is not
not
Catholicism.
This is not Catholicism.
Sprinkling water on everybody.
You are all dark-sided.
We do not have fun in this church.
No.
Well, regionally, I feel like obviously Catholicism had a stronghold in the Northeast. It was like OG.
Yeah.
To me, it's surprising that you're like a Southeast Texas boy and you're Catholic, because I just assume, from my experience, that everybody's Baptist.
But
Cajun.
Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana. Cajuns.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Wild.
that's my family. It's
Yeah.
all that French Catholicism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so you guys are definitely traumatized from this shared
Oh
experience.
yeah, baby.
Do you feel like, is it like a badge of honor though, that you sort of like, it's kind of like fun though, because you
Yeah.
have this in common and you can go like, oh, Catholic
It
upbringing,
is
am I
fun
right?
to like go over the shit that like is so weird, but that like everyone experienced as a Catholic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we watched The Omen. It is a movie about like Satan, the Antichrist, and
The
the
devil's
occult,
child,
devil stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like you have an entirely different experience than ostensibly watching this, or not really, because you don't really.
I mean, I have no connection to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely did, because I saw it when I was younger. So like, it's same way that The Exorcist made an impact on me. Well, not the same way, but like, it's the same reason why The Omen maybe sticks out a little bit more in my mind, and I've seen it a bunch of times.
And it's sort of like making hay of like the things that are kind of like sacred or off limits.
Yeah,
like,
it's there's a lot of moments in this movie that I'm like, I still feel like truly shocked by.
Yeah,
like I'm just like, oh, whoa, that's like very sacrilegious. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so you picked The Omen, Kyle.
I did pick The
sort
Omen.
of. We
Kind of, yeah. We had a big group discussion, but
But this one's your movie.
Yeah, it's
We're
you.
calling it yours.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is officially my
So
selection.
tell us what if our theme is evil kids, New Year, New You. Why did we watch this?
I mean, Damien is the bad kid in the movie. I think, like evil kid in the movie. He's literally the son of the devil. Doesn't get much more evil than that. And I mean, the
What's
only
that?
other
Baron Trump. You
look,
been
all
warned.
Baron Trump does is play Fortnite.
What's up with him? We haven't seen him in a while.
He's hiding out. He's hiding out.
What if
Let's
he's
look
like
under his bangs. He does have a Damien haircut.
turn back? his
Is that
floppy ass
Baron
hair?
Trump or Sia? Right?
Oh.
Good bit. Good riff.
Do you think
Sia
Sia?
is a Damien.
Wait, no, but do you think she calls herself Sia, like see ya
in hell,
but you never see her. Do you think that's kind of the idea behind that?
No.
Do you think Maddie, her dancer muse, is
from Dance Moms?
is a Damien?
Absolutely.
No. Maddie is an angel.
A fallen angel.
Abby Lee Miller is the
is the
apostate.
Actually,
Danny.
that's fair. That's fair.
She's the apostate and the Rottweiler.
And they somehow get her on tax evasion.
So let me do my 1 minute.
Oh yes,
recap.
sorry,
Yes.
sorry, Mata. We're a little rusty.
This way.
We're a little out of practice.
Our
Somebody
classic
forgot my
segment.
we need to have a soundboard so you can just do a drop when we're just bullshitting and it'll
Bing
be like
bong.
somebody get Jonah on the phone. We'll get a new series of small audio stings that he can do on the toilet.
You don't like
he
me going bing bong.
No. We have to work with an absolute professional who famously recorded our theme song on a toilet.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun.
Shout out
for
to
the
Jonah.
pop-up video of what Dad.
Yeah, he if you go on a SoundCloud and search for toilet tag, the tag toilet, you'll get all of his oeuvres there.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, so give us the recap.
Okay,
Kyle's got
so-
the time.
Gregory Peck goes
A
to the
Southern lawyer.
hospital with his wife. And they're having a baby, but the baby dies. So a priest says, "Hey, I got a baby
I got
for
a
you.
spare one.
You never have to tell your wife," which is fucking insane. So they adopt this baby that doesn't have any family, and raise it as their own. The wife legit thinks it's her own. And everything's fine. Oh, he's also a diplomat, and then he becomes the ambassador to England. So they're living in this fucking mansion
30 seconds.
in England. And then creepy shit starts happening. Damien's nanny hangs herself in the middle of a birthday party, which is truly wild. And then more shit happens. Another priest tries to warn Gregory Peck, but he
15
ends up
seconds.
dying. And then the mom gets pregnant and she almost dies. And then Gregory Peck is like, "I believe that this kid is evil." So he goes to Rome and he digs up a jackal body and they decide he is evil. So he goes home and then the new nanny is evil too. And she kills the mom. And then he goes home to kill Damien. He brings Damien into a church, but instead the police shoot him. So he can't kill Damien. And we see Damien moves in with the president of the United States of America.
Good.
And that's a minute
Sequel.
20. Not bad.
Sequel.
Not bad. Sequel.
Yeah, so this for some reason I was just in a bit of a mood while we were watching this and was constantly like being literally the worst potential viewing guest who's like, "What's going to happen? Is this going to happen?" Just like sort of like calling out.
Literally seconds before it happened.
But a lot of the times they were right.
I would say 100% of the time you were right.
I'm a seer. I have visions, but I was calling some of the beats of this. But let's get into it. Gregory Peck is, like Emma said, is a sort of international ambassador, like a diplomat, and he's got a very young wife. Very young. So the original sin of this movie is that they swap babies.
And don't tell the mom.
Don't tell the mom. She always knows. It's a we need to talk about Kevin kind of situation where she never quite bonds with him. Always feels like something's off, something's sort of wrong. I think, just going to come out here, maybe this is a bit of a hot take. This is Evil Kid month or whatever. And so he's ostensibly very evil. Never quite unsettling, though, in the way that like a lot of cinematic evil kids are. Because he kind of doesn't have a lot of dimensionality. He doesn't really ever speak. And then he does a lot of sort of like, he does that little creepy wave. and he smirks mischievously a lot. But like, for the most part, the scary shit is like all of his...
happening around him.
Yeah, like this sort of chaos that he creates. And then all of his like little kind of minions who are like evil dogs, evil women.
I'm much more scared of the nanny than him.
Yeah. She's definitely the meteor villain
The second
role.
nanny too. Although first nanny's pretty scary, and she's like, "I love you, Damien.
It's all
I'm
for
doing
you."
this for you," and then kills herself.
But before she kills herself, very publicly at a child's birthday party, at which point, we see everybody react, and a clown like cowers and like holds a child, which is like, that's everybody needs to stop looking at that and focus on that.
Yeah.
What happens to the nanny? Because the dog, like one of these sort of like harbingers
She looks at the
of
devil
evil,
dog,
is it the
and
devil?
he tells her,
or it's just a kind of conduit for the devil? What is the dog?
I don't think the dog is literally the devil.
Okay.
I think he's a foot soldier
right,
of some kind, and he's there to tell the nanny, okay, you got to kill yourself.
But he's doing some hypnosis.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like chemtrails. Like
Absolutely real.
Whoa!
It puts
Stop
mind
the
control
podcast.
into the air. When you look at the
All right,
devil
folks.
dog,
Listen up, folks.
just like when you look at a plane chemtrail.
Rottweilers are agent of the globalist economy, and we got to put them all down.
Oh man, Kyle is our resident impersonator. He's like always got these locked and loaded and ready to go. But so that it is like a hypnosis thing because they can look into each other's eyes and the dog has really
And then
shiny
she's
eyes.
like,
and
"Oh,
she
I gotta
kills
go
herself.
kill myself."
Yeah,
What
got to
did-
make way for this new nanny.
It's got to clear out. So like, why not? Okay, why am I going to do? Why am I even going?
Are
into
you
this
about to ask
It's
why the
29
nanny doesn't just move to Boca Raton
It's
and quit her
2019.
job?
It's 2019. It's the first new podcast of the year, and I'm really about to kick this off by going like, but why doesn't the apostate just, insinuate herself into the family before he's born or whatever? Do you think it's all planned out that way, where it's like because he's a politician, he's got wealth and he's got power, and they need to kind of get the baby into the seat of power. So it is specifically like we're going to kill their kid.
Well, they did kill the baby.
And then
They
we'll
killed the
swap
baby.
it.
Yeah.
But him specifically, not just like, well, whoever stumbles in here tonight.
I
and
mean,
has
it
a
was
baby.
666, so I think
Is this preordained?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It was
not.
a little
now you're
bit.
getting
I
on
don't
a
know.
whole fate
I don't know.
choice thing.
Okay. That's not
How
this.
many of
This
that
is
stuff
that's a
works?
different movie.
That's above my
grade.
station.
It's above your pay grade. We do this for free. This is a free podcast.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
But that is the kill. All the kills in this are tight.
Yeah.
They all
They're
have
pretty incredible.
a lot of impact. Even the
Two-
goofy head.
To a scene. Like, they are really good.
And I love to do this sort of like thought exercise, which is like imagining the impact of these movies in the kind of cultural context and when they're released. So a huge green pastoral field of children playing at a birthday party, and then a woman violently hanging herself and sort of swinging into a window and shattering that.
That was the crazy part.
That's wild.
That she swung into the window,
Yeah.
and then we see the maid inside like scream.
That scene is like
That's intense.
super iconic.
Yeah.
Like, that
pretty
is the
great.
I think that scene is the reason people still talk about this movie.
And it's a bit of this like kind of like leitmotif thing that happens too in horror movies where where like possession is a thing, or like a kind of it follows. What was the movie that we watched where somebody's like, oh, it was Hereditary? This sort of thing of somebody who's like doesn't possess their faculties anymore. They're possessed by some demon or some sort of spirit, and they're far away calling out to you, like trying to get your attention before they do something fucking horrible.
Yeah.
That is like there's something about that
Terrifying.
that's sort of like deeply unsettling.
Yeah.
Watching people kill themselves is
and,
awful.
and it's executed really well too, because you can hear her screaming out for Damien before they show her.
Yeah.
So you're just sort of like seeing shots of kids at the party, and then you
Yeah.
kind of hear her in the distance going, Damien,
It ruled.
Damien. It's really good.
And then that's when it sort of like kicks off. I
Yeah.
would say there's this thing that is in these movies. It's got a bit of that sort of same theme in common with Rosemary's Baby, where it's like nobody ever trusts the mother the mother in the case of both of those movies, who kind of like feels intuitively that something is amiss.
A mother knows.
A mother knows.
I have a dog that I birthed out of my vagina.
Jackal.
It was gross.
It's a reverse
Let me tell
Damien. It's a
you.
woman giving birth to a jackal.
He's an angel, and I would know if someone possessed him. Actually, I do sometimes worry when he like growls for no reason, or
That
like
he senses.
stares off into the distance. Both of the dogs at my house, my dog and my roommate's dog, will go into the backyard and go. It's a long, narrow backyard, and they'll go sit at the edge and stare back at the house, and it's so fucking creepy. And I
see
know
a kid in a window.
they're just
upstairs.
like smelling shit and
What,
looking.
smelling shit with their all-seeing eyes.
But it's very creepy. They also will both sit at the top of the stairs and stare down at me. So
Well,
a mother knows.
I thought of you recently because I read this thing where it's like vets and like trainers and stuff like that encourage staring in dogs because it's like they're like staring at their owners because it's like to communicate intent or something like that, and it's supposed to be like a more sort of civilized, obedient way of them basically communicating with you. It's fucking unnerving. But the thing that is killer about this is they always go real. These are like far away from you, like taking in a larger context. I'm not saying that house is absolutely haunted, but
good.
it's
Please
worth
don't.
exploring the idea.
Might want to get that looked at.
I mean, to be fair, Saul is always staring at me, even if I'm next to him on the couch.
Well, Emma.
Does that mean you are a Damien? How would you know? How would you know if you were a Damien?
I gotta shave my head.
Guys, can we do that? Hey, like or subscribe this podcast. If we get 100 comments on iTunes, we will shave our heads to look for Marks of the Beast.
We'll do it. We'll show you all of our moles.
Let's say you go through a particularly traumatic period, or you're just trying a new look, and like maybe you're going to get the side of your head shaved, or you're going to go full shave. Both of you have beautiful heads of hair. It would be a real crime. Thick, lustrous hair, shiny.
I think
Very nice of you to say that.
I'm not going to lose it, but it is thinning.
Haired podcast.
It is thinning. I'm okay
good.
with that. I'm
It
not
looks
going to
good.
buy hymns or something like that. But you shave your head, or I don't know, like you're trimming up. You're doing some scaping, some body scaping. You find a mark of the beast.
Okay.
Oh, it's
I
jackpot,
just keep
baby.
living.
What do you do
It's
now?
on.
I just keep living.
But
Just
I mean,
keep living, man.
Yeah, I just become Matthew McConaughey.
Just McConaughey.
But the devil.
McConaughey, you heard it here first. McConaughey is a Damien. I think you want to do like a little killing. You know what
I don't think I'd do any killing. I think I would definitely pull the levers of power, though.
Yeah.
I would absolutely want to be in charge of some shit.
You march into the halls of power and you say, "Look at this. Where's my office?"
You pull your pants down,
Who
and
do
you
we check in with and be like, look, I'm part of this?
well, you
Hey,
go.
Paul Ryan, you're on
walk,
your way out.
yeah, you walk right up to the White House.
He's doing curls in his office. It's 5 a.m.
You drop trowel. You show him the one weird bald spot you shaved into your pubes,
And then he just sends you into like the intern pool because everybody's a Damien. They're like, "Oh yeah, fucking Damien, get in line. We got
get the fucking line.
Oh my gosh.
All right, who dies next? Because this isn't a huge
So
body
the
count
nanny
movie, but
dies.
there's lots of menacing stuff.
And then
Then the creepy
priest.
apostate
The
shows
priest
up.
dies.
So the nanny dies. The new evil nanny shows up.
Yeah.
She's got a pet Rottweiler.
Mrs. Baylock or Miss Baylock.
Right.
and then the priest dies.
Yeah.
And that's really it. So the priest is like in full kind of like meltdown mode.
Because he knows.
He knows. But we also later find
A
out he's
priest
riddled
knows.
with cancer. A father knows. Ooh, father.
Father.
Father, you're filled up with cancer. Ooh. He's
Our priest was a Monsignor.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see. This is like the
I don't even
military.
know-
I don't know the level.
It's some
I don't
rank.
know the
Bishop.
rank.
Monsignor.
Monsignor also might be a,
Archbishop.
well, no, I guess it wouldn't be a
Arch
Cajun
is bigger
thing.
than bishop.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
And then a bunch of archbishops and then a pope.
And then, yeah.
Then you got a pope.
Well, we cleared that up.
Yep. 2 resident experts
If
here.
any papal scholars are listening, be sure and share and subscribe.
Write us a review.
We're really
5 stars only, though.
We're stepping up our promo game this year. We want people from all walks of life listening to the podcast, and fact checking are extremely
including popes.
You know what? This new pope seems kind of chill. He can listen to the podcast.
I
This is-
like the new pope.
guys. Are you? This is a joke because
No.
he's a pope for fuck's sake. It's this thing of like W wasn't that bad.
No.
he's
No,
good for
so
This guy actually does say cool stuff. Like
right.
he's still a pope.
the new pope
Yeah.
tweet. Okay, so 2 things.
We're grading him on a pope curve.
Before
Yeah.
this was so there's like 2 eras of this new pope. There was a time before the newest round of
Yeah.
sex abuse allegations, which he's had his own scandal. That the pope is canceled after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But before that,
he was chilling.
Yeah.
he
fine.
did tweet out and say that the earth, which is our home, is beginning to look more and more like an immense pile of filth. Which is like a fucking
It's a tight
dope
thing.
ass
Yeah.
thing for a pope
Yeah.
to say.
Well, he's sort of like anti-capital or anti-corporate, so that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
He does a lot of cool stuff, but then the
Washing
covering up
the feet of
child
lepers
abuse.
and shit like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
doing
yeah.
actual Christian shit.
But it is also that thing of like, it's like we're grading him on this relative scale because the guy before him was like that
The worst.
proper
Yeah.
German demon.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
talk about German nightmares. And he had a cartoonishly evil face.
Literally
Like, just-
looked
Don't know what
like
he looks
Emperor
like.
Palpatine from Star Wars.
He just looked like a little bit like, yeah, like he's
I
had,
could not tell you what any pope looked like,
like imagine an old man who's German.
except for Jude Law.
Jude Law, yeah.
That's
Sexy
my
young
pope, baby.
That's fiction,
like
right?
the
I've
young
never
pope.
seen it, but it's
I've
not
never
supposed to be
seen
It's
it.
better.
absolutely fiction. It's
Okay.
fucking really good.
Really?
What?
I swear to
Is it
God,
Showtime or
it's
HBO?
HBO. Ignore the awful,
Did it get
awful
canceled?
title. It's a miniseries,
Oh.
but they are doing a new season called "The New Pope"
Pope babies
with John motherfucking Malkovich. No,
I think John
He's a
Malkovich
creep.
is like, yeah, exactly.
yeah, he's a creep.
he in Bird Box, I'm just like, I'm done.
He's completely miscast in Bird Box.
Okay,
Don't get
some
me
of us
started.
haven't seen it, and might not, but might.
You shouldn't.
I think it's bad, but I think you'd like it.
Oh, okay. Don't know what that says about
No,
me.
I'm not trying to say that your
like
opinions
bad
are a
things.
pile of filth or whatever. to quote the Pope, but I don't. To me, it was just like a perfectly serviceable bad movie.
Okay.
And it's 7 movies in one.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I like Sandra Bullock.
I do love Sandra.
I do
barring,
like Sandra Bullock.
A stiff move or what?
I'll-
What is the movie about? The racist one about football?
The Blind Side.
The Blind Side.
I-
a stiff move.
For some reason, I knew that's what you were talking
Emma
about.
Emma is my translator. I have to bring her to my medical appointments and stuff like she has to sort of like read the tea leaves of what's going on in my Swiss cheese brain. Because like I'm basically an executive at one of those companies who makes like similar movies and then puts them straight out to DVD. I'm like, I don't know, call it a stiff move. All these fucking rubes will download it. All right, so evil lady comes in. She's like essentially installs herself into the household. She's obviously evil. She's also super manipulative and doesn't do anything that these dumb, wealthy parents ask her to do.
They immediately allow
She
her
sucks.
to visit Damien alone. She's like,
Yeah, they let her take over, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
they really give her full run of the
Yeah.
place.
And then it's another classic case of Emma and Steven's victim blaming corner, where we're like, fuck them. They deserve what is coming to them. They're not exercising enough restraint or sort of caution.
Y'all, I'm with you on this one. There are so many red flags on this, at least with the nanny specifically.
But also, I think for me, it's more about fuck Gregory Peck than the lady.
Oh,
because
100%.
he already
Yeah.
is a monster for like
Right,
switching
yeah.
babies and not
Right.
telling his wife.
Yes.
Like, this isn't a hamster and your 6-year-old. Like, this is your child with your wife.
Sorry, Emma's future 6-year-old. Your ass get
No,
lied to.
I wouldn't do that. I would let my kids know about death at a very young age.
Anyways, like if any of the family pets cough or show any sign of weakness, you just wring their necks while the children watch. You need to learn.
gotta
This is a
learn.
fucking Lydia Dietz factory over here. I'm making little Wednesday Addams.
Do you think the ultra wealthy are capable of love? Like
Yeah.
loving their children?
Yeah, I think so.
I think,
Guys, what?
okay, so I think if you're not born wealthy,
Uh-huh.
like what do you mean by ultra wealthy?
This guy is he's got the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
He's a mover and a shaker. He's a power broker. They live in grand houses. She wears turbans to weddings.
Yeah.
That kind of
I feel like I do know really wealthy people that I think are genuine, kind people. I don't know how they got that way because I
Yeah.
don't think that's normal.
I think because you do have to do some dirty shit to earn money.
I don't think you
But I
can
don't
be.
think they did it.
I don't think you can be ultra wealthy and be a kind person. I don't think that. But I don't think that means that you can't love your child.
But
Okay.
what about like Bill and Melinda Gates? They do a ton with their money.
Yeah, but a
Yeah.
lot of. I mean, that's,
That's
good.
atonement, though,
That is.
isn't it?
That does feel a little bit like atonement. I mean, Bill Gates was pretty cutthroat to get to where he
Sure.
got.
Yeah.
You know,
But I
I
guess
don't.
that's like all business. As far
Yeah.
as sort of compartmentalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, you know, like got all that money and then kind of like got out the game. Like he's not like a wealthy person who just sort of like sat on it.
Yeah.
Forever.
Just acquiring power.
Yeah. Like Steve Ballmer, the other Microsoft guy, like now owns like an NBA team.
Yeah.
He's just like he's like, I'm just going to stay in this world.
Yeah.
Instead of retiring, you know?
Oh. Okay. So like, because you saying he like owns a sports team, I was like, yeah, he like cashes chips out and he's doing what he loves, owning a
no.
sports team. But I guess you're a bad person if you own it. Those guys are all horrible.
At least NFL
NFL
are.
owners are.
Oh, he owns an NBA team. So
They might not be
not as
terrible.
bad.
Yeah.
He's much more progressive, but still there's still absolutely in the NBA this attitude of like I am the, you know,
Yeah.
I own all of you.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's a weird.
It's
A
very
weird vibe.
cool thing.
It's a weird
So
vibe.
what I'm saying is Steve Ballmer cannot possibly love his children.
And CEOs are the new slave masters.
And CEOs are in his slave master.
Cool. Another hot take from your friends at Wadad when they're talking about a horror podcast.
Jonah, let's get that toilet jingle.
All All right, so what happens next? Who dies next? Oh, I think then Mother has her sort of
Mom falls
tip
for
and
the
fall.
first time.
Yeah, the first fall.
So she's in the hospital.
But she's already told Gregory Peck she's pregnant, right?
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
said she
this
wants
is
an
right
She
abortion.
wants an
after.
abortion.
Yeah.
So-
and he's very adamant she should not get one.
Right.
We sort of skimmed over the priest dying. And
yeah.
this is an
Right.
important connective tissue because the priest warns Gregory Peck to say, like, she's pregnant, you don't know it yet, but that baby's going to die because Damien can't have it. He can't have a brother.
The
or whatever.
competition.
Yeah, he can't handle the competition. So then the priest immediately dies. And
And
then,
another shocking, quite striking image. He's sort of impaled from above by like a fallen cross spire or something like that from the top of the church.
a lot of long shots of
Yeah.
people reacting to stuff coming at them in this movie.
And we've seen so much horrible shit that he's looking up at it and sort of screaming with his mouth wide open. I thought for sure it was going through
Right
the
through
mouth
his mouth.
to impale
I
him.
think that is what happens in the remake.
Ugh.
Don't
I
quote me
kind
on
of
that.
looked away, so I don't know. But I do think it was kind of cool that he was like stuck standing up.
Yeah.
Which is creepy.
Cool
And
shot.
then-
Got that fog rolling in.
And then somebody takes a photograph and it's front page news, and Kyle makes the absolutely appropriate point, which is like, wait, you fully show a dead body, like a
Publish
crime
a
scene
photo
in
of
the
a
news?
dead ass priest.
A priest, no less. Aren't they?
It is
deserve-
the UK. Anything goes. They got titties in
Page
newspapers over
6,
there.
Page 6 is just tits and dead priests. Well, so he dies, and that sort of like makes true like all of the
Yeah, it's sort of that's sort of the thing that really lights fire. Not really lights fire, but really piques Gregory Peck's interest.
Peaks Peck's
Peaks
interest.
Peaks Peck's Pecker. He's sort of like, all right, this
do
is
you
weird.
think he called his penis?
His
the
Gregory
Pecker?
Pecker. Yeah, for
Here
sure.
comes the Peck. What else is Gregory Peck in other than To Kill a Mockingbird?
Roman Holiday.
Yes.
He
Okay.
also played Captain Ahab in Moby Dick.
I feel like he was in something with Katharine Hepburn, but I don't. He wasn't in Bringing Up Baby. I don't know. He's in a bunch of
He's
shit.
a bunch of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I just sort of think of that as his
Charade.
Yeah,
I
those
think
are
he was in
certainly
Charade,
the-
but I get him and Cary Grant confused, even though they don't look alike.
Cary Grant much
They're just
feels
two
shorter.
handsome men.
Yeah.
And then Cary Grant. He's much more English.
No, that's Katharine Hepburn.
Okay, so then the priest is dead.
Yeah.
The mother is now she's pregnant. Her abortion has been refused by
Yeah.
Well, her English psychiatrist thinks she should have the abortion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her English psychiatrist
She
and
is
her
What is
husband.
meeting with her husband on the slide to talk
This is
about
another
it?
one of these things I called. Like I was
Not
like,
ethical.
he's gonna let her go to a therapist, and then he's just she'll be tight-lipped about it, and he'll just get all of his knowledge from the sort of like boys club.
No
That's exactly what
commentary, just straight up cut to a scene. Totally normal. No need for us to explain
Yeah.
this. He's in the psychiatrist's office
I feel
getting
like
a rundown.
At least in this sort of contemporary context, when we see that happen in like Mad Men, it's like, can you believe this?
Yeah.
But in this, it's like, well, of course, then. And then it's exacerbated by the fact that she's probably 20 years. They just have a weird, like infantilized relationship.
Definitely.
So she's, fixing a fern, like an indoor
she's
fern.
Sort of adjusting a plant.
She knows, Emma, you are with child. You are also the mother of Satan.
No, I'm not
reincarnate.
getting up on a ladder and fixing
Right.
a fern.
Are you standing near a balcony's edge? And
No.
Also, you have a fleet of assistants and like
Yeah.
help. Just bed rest.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Bed rest with salt around the bed or something like that. Just come on. But she, the crazy apostate nanny lets him loose on his trike, and he sort of like does what's his name from The Shining.
Yeah.
Comes out there, knocks her on her ass. First, some gold. Where'd the goldfish come from?
They're
just
just
sitting
on
there.
a table or
Right.
something nearby.
She tips over the balcony and sort of like falls to her doom. I'm like, this is tight. This is metal. She's dead. And I looked at you two who have seen the movie before, and you confirm
Many
my
times.
suspicions. Kyle saw it a month ago. Emma, admittedly, it's been several years. But like,
we both
we all
didn't-
thought she
we
was
both
dead.
were like,
didn't
oh, yeah, she
remember.
died.
We didn't
We're like-
remember that she didn't die.
But
right
it's kind of
then.
a cool moment because that would have been a truly insane outcome.
Yeah.
But Alas, she was still alive. She's
Yeah.
just
But
hospitalized.
I think
But she does die
because
later.
She did end up dying from falling.
She did, fair enough.
I just,
Yeah.
equated the two.
She loses the baby, so this family doesn't have to commit yet another sin.
And she also has her arm in a comically Rookie of the Year style
Hey, you
arm
guys.
cast.
Yeah. What? No one's broken bones. Emma broke a toe.
I broke a baby toe.
What's the funniest bone to break?
Your funny bone.
I think
Your dick bone.
I think
From daggering.
Oh,
And,
Stephen.
You go on a trip. You go on a trip to Jamaica. You're daggering like everybody else. Listen, you like to dance. What do you know? You broke your dick. It can happen.
Your butt bone.
Yeah, there you go. Your sit bone.
Your tailbone.
Your tailbone.
I think, yeah.
Maybe
What's
like
the funny
just
bone?
anything in the torso. Because
Yeah.
then you get a full chest cast.
Yeah.
Do this kind of move.
Those are good.
It's the worst one, but like a neck injury where you have to wear like the
neck brace.
halo.
The full, yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah, you got pins in your skull and you're just fully like stuck there.
Yeah, you got to move your head like Michael Keaton and Batman. Like he can't move he can't turn his head.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's hoping we don't break any bones, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
How's that toe?
Oh, I think it's fine. I don't even remember. No, it's this foot, but I had to think about it.
When you're back home and a nor'easter rolls in, does it ache a little bit?
Yeah.
When you're out on a fishing boat.
That's just a main toe ghost.
So, do you guys want to
Yeah.
know how I broke it, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was really excited about starting college because I realized I could buy all new clothes.
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
so, like, I was
New
going
year,
to
new you.
Florida,
New
so
year,
I could
new
buy
you.
summer clothes, even though it was like,
You went to school in Florida?
yeah,
I didn't know this. Okay.
yes, you did.
Take it off the pod.
Anyway, so I bought a ton of clothes on Esprit de Corps' website. And then I decided I needed to do ballet leaps around the hallway. And so this hallway was on the second floor, and the stairs from the first floor came up and made a railing.
Uh-huh.
And then there was another floor. But so I got, basically there's a railing on
Yeah.
the side of this hallway.
Uh-huh.
And I did a leap, and my toe caught on the railing and just went totally sideways.
Oh, no.
And that's why it had to be reset, because it was like going sideways.
Yoy.
I would
It hurt.
kill myself
A
on
lot.
the way to the hospital because I would just look down and keep seeing it. Ugh.
It was not fun.
What did it feel like when they reset it? Bad.
Bad.
Yeah. But
He used a pencil.
Huh?
What?
Like he stuck a pencil in between my toes and just went
Oh.
with some numbing stuff first.
Yeah.
But it was like not.
Some real field medic shit.
Yeah, and it was like in a hospital, so not
Yeah.
necessary to do it that way. I mean, I guess it was just simple.
Whatever
he
works,
reached
works.
for a tray, like unseeing, and there was a bone saw and a pencil, and he's like, pencil.
Yeah.
50-50 shot.
But actually, it was a day later. I think they just taped it the first day.
Yeah.
And then I went for the checkup, and they were like, they didn't reset this.
So were you in a boot? Like the
Yeah,
first
I
month of
started
college?
college in a boot. Just for the first few days or
Ooh,
weeks.
who's she?
She looks like she
Who's
does
that
leaps when
lady?
she's excited.
Who's that lady?
Man, that's so great. I kind of wish I wish I'd broken a bone because it feels like a kind of interesting formative
Yeah.
experience, but obviously like I'm an indoor kid and I'm very gentle, so I was never in a position.
Same.
No leaping in mother's house. No.
No. I did have an injury that it wasn't a broken bone, but it was, maybe I've talked about this, when I got a twig stuck in my eye.
Oh,
No, you haven't.
Okay, so
that's
I
terrifying.
was I was swinging on a swing set when I was a
Uh-huh.
kid. It was maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7, somewhere in that range. And I was swinging on the swing set on my stomach, Superman style.
Yeah.
Now, this was in my first house, and the swing set was in our front yard, and it was like right next to a fig tree. And I, being the barefoot idiot redneck kid that I am, was Supermaning too hard and went face first into this fig tree and got a little bitty, teeny tiny little piece of twig stuck in my tear duct.
Oh,
Ow.
And had to go to the hospital and had to get them to remove that. That was pretty bad. It was extremely painful.
I bet.
And I did get to wear an eye patch to school for a bit, but it was not a proper eye patch. It was just like a gauze
yeah.
pad with
Yeah,
tape
not a
on
pirate
it.
shit.
But still close enough that I felt kind of cool about it.
To me, these windows between the incident and the repair, like the sort of like medical intervention, are horror.
Yeah,
Like
absolute
manifest.
horror.
Like you drove.
I don't remember anything about
somebody
it.
drove you to a hospital with
Yeah.
a twig,
Stick.
In my
your
tear duct.
Yeah.
I think that's why my eyes are like they get easily watery. I think that's why is that they're still just
Yeah,
like
a little bark kicking
damaged
around
or something.
You got
Who knows?
shrapnel.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's probably not true, but that's what I tell myself.
Oh, God.
It's not because I'm a sad boy and I'm actually crying.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why I cry all the time. I got sand in my eye once and had to go to the ER.
All right, now you're mocking me.
No.
Sand in your eye for
Like,
ER?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
for
like
real?
stuck in my eye. Or it was like a piece of shell.
You couldn't
I
blink
don't
it
know.
out, yeah.
It wasn't coming out,
Oh,
and
God.
they had to put neon dye in my eye
Yeah.
to see if it scratched anything.
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
Eye stuff, eye trauma is really too much.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we were all a couple of little devils too, huh? Much like
Damien,
Damien.
the movie that we're
Thorn.
supposed to be talking about. There's before the priest dies, he tells Gregory Peck, and then this photographer who's incidentally involved too. He sort of like teases out what's happening because every time he develops photos, he sees kind of like a shadowy premonition of how people are going to die. These two follow the priest's advice, and they go to Jezreel, the city of Megiddo,
based on a poem that
which I thought was scripture.
I don't
And
think
then people
yeah.
kept calling it a poem.
Yeah, they kept saying poem.
Yeah.
And it starts with the Jews return to Zion. And they say it a bunch, and every time
We're
oh,
like,
boy,
here we go.
And really launching into this. And
This anti-Semitic priest really has an axe to grind. And then he's got to meet a dude named like Hagendorf or something like that.
Haagen-Dazs. He makes ice cream and he solves
Bergen-Durgen,
crimes.
yeah.
He's in an underground archaeological site in this sort of ancient Israelite city, and he's the one who will know, a former exorcist who will know how to dispense of Damien. So these two hot-footed to Israel, and they encounter this guy, and this guy is, to say the least, a disappointment based on everything that has been described up to this point in time, because
nothing regal or
ancient
or mysterious
ecclesiastical,
about him.
nothing about, he doesn't feel church related, he doesn't feel occult related, he just feels like a 70s guy who's got a fancy microscope in a dirt pit.
And an unidentifiable European accent.
Yeah. And so he goes through essentially like what the elaborate ritual that's Gregory Peck has to do in order to kill Damien. And he has to kill him on consecrated ground, on the altar of Christ.
With 7 different knives.
Seven knives.
Different knives.
One's to kill the physical spirit.
Stab him in the heart first.
And then the other one's radiate out to kill the spiritual
in the sign of the cross.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you kill a blowfish, and there's a
Yeah.
really specific way you have to do it,
Yeah.
or you can die.
Or Damien's spirit will slip through and jump into a dog or another dog.
But if you can make it to that restaurant and you can get you some prime Damien served up to you by a real master, then you know it's gonna be good stuff.
What's the one meat you won't eat?
Oh God, there's more than one.
Got to be dog.
Yeah,
Absolutely not dog. But
Absolutely
I wouldn't
not
eat horse
dog.
either.
I
wouldn't
do
eat
horse.
goat.
I'd eat horse.
I'd eat horse.
Yeah.
But I'd eat horse in a place where we just mythologize it in America.
I know, but
Yeah.
still
I don't want to
do
eat
it.
squirrel.
Oh, just because it.
I've been tricked into eating squirrel before. My stepdad made. This
So wait,
is-
nobody said cat. I just want to point out nobody said cat.
no, definitely no cat.
I wouldn't eat cat.
Cat would be so bitter. Like, it tastes
gonna-
like strychnine.
All right. I'm going to say a sentence that is the most. Okay.
The doctor what took the stick out my eye fed me squirrel.
my stepdad made a pot of gumbo one time, and he put rabbit and squirrel in it.
Okay.
And tried to lie to me. Like, he's like, yeah, this is chicken and sausage gumbo. And I ate it. And he's like, you fucking dolt. You monster. You just ate rabbit and squirrel. And I went, puh, puh, puh. Spit it out.
What is this prank? Because
It wasn't a funny prank.
He's the one that cooked it up.
Yeah.
Why are you the
Well, he was
Mark?
like, I am the strong countryman, and
Did
I
he
can
eat
eat
it
rabbits.
too?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
loved it. He's,
Yeah.
you know.
So it wasn't a prank. It was just like the meal wasn't a prank. Just getting you.
It's
to
more.
eat it
It's
was
more
a
about
trick.
getting a laugh out of feeding my pussy stepchild.
City boy.
Yeah, city boy.
You spit it out and stained your espadrilles.
Yeah.
Whatever. You vomited into your top hat. Okay, so then they're in this sort of ancient city in Israel. Gregory Peck's like, I won't kill this child, and like heaves these 7 swords like across like
Into a
busy city
construction
market.
site.
Yeah, and then the photographer, who's got a very striking look, which we'll just breeze past. He's got a great. Speaking of great
that
heads of hair.
haircut.
He's got a real hair helmet.
And then this is a guy, too, who we should look up because he's a character actor that we've all seen in a million things,
Yeah.
but is just a particularly... He's a busybody photographer in this context. He's like, no, we can't do this. He goes to fish out the swords out of this, like, scrap pit or whatever in a construction site and gets... We did it in a screenplay. He gets decapitated by a rogue sheet of glass.
Incredible.
And it's tight.
It's so good.
It's some great fake head work. It does 8 full loops before
Yeah.
it lands on the ground.
And the way the body falls,
It looks good.
It looks really
Yeah.
nice. This movie really is the proto Final Destination.
Yes.
It's really set the template.
Elaborate deaths that are like
traps.
foretold, and so you know they're going to happen. You just
Yep.
and you know kind of how they're going to happen roughly.
Mhm. You can see it coming.
Yeah.
That decapitation was pretty sweet.
Ah, yeah.
I
we got
don't
it.
like that shit.
Let's smoke a bowl. 420. 420.
It was pretty sweet. Like, it was just, it's shocking.
Yeah.
And then the head doing the tumble on the glass, like, just like really intense.
So there's like it's like probably 7 shots kind of quickly cut together, and the first one, as the sheet of glass is sliding towards his head, is already full dummy mode, and the mouth is like agape, like because the dead, the fake head
Sure.
knows it's coming, and it is really wild. I mean,
Do you think a sheet of glass could cut
Yeah.
through a person?
yeah,
Yes,
no doubt,
100%.
Okay.
no doubt. We've all seen Ghost, that other science documentary.
I don't remember that part about
I think
it.
that guy gets killed like near the end in like a kind of guillotine of glass, sort of
Oh.
like pierces him, and then his undead soul comes out and gets dragged to hell. Ghost is scary in parts.
Yeah, that
watch
sounds
it.
wild.
Let's
I've never
watch it.
sat down and watched
Ditto.
Ghost.
You guys have never seen Ghost?
No, I've seen it. No, I was saying ditto from the movie. Instead of saying I love you too, he would always say ditto, and it made her so mad. And then,
It's kind of a cute thing when he's dead.
yeah, when he's dead and he says it, and then she knows it's him.
That's fine.
All right, so Gregory Peck is now like, all right, I have no choice. Clearly,
I have
like,
to kill my son.
I've got to kill my son. He goes back. He traps the hellhound that the apostate has living in the house, even though he's
Very
asked her not to.
anticlimactic.
He eventually subdues the apostate nanny lady in a couple
kills
of
her.
fights, and yeah, they kind of have that knife high noon standoff thing, and he gets the
He stabs her.
knife into her neck, and then he just pulls Damien into a church. She's kicking and screaming. It's like
But the police follow him for some reason.
I wasn't clear why.
yeah,
from the
it's
jump,
weird.
but-
I don't know
Maybe
why the
someone
police are
called
there.
the cops, I guess.
or somebody's he's like a security guard that's posted outside of the
Maybe.
That's my best guess.
The
Is that
compound?
he's just keeping watch on the compound or something.
and he doesn't stop, so he goes after him. Whatever. Regardless,
Yeah.
he's being chased by the cops. He pulls Damien into the church and kind of hesitates before doing the killing blow, and the cops come in and shoot Gregory Peck. And then we get a little bit of an epilogue, which is the funeral of the wife, or like the mother and Gregory Peck.
I think they're trying to do a misdirect there. I think they're trying to make you think that both of them died
Oh, okay.
because the epilogue is like, oh, we come to bury these two,
Yeah.
and the way it's shot, you can't really tell it's like an adult-sized coffin.
So you maybe think he
Oh.
did successfully
I-
stab
I
him
th-
and get shot.
I think it's trying to misdirect and say like
I could see
both
that.
I don't
died.
think that worked for me.
No, it
Yeah.
didn't.
but-
I don't think it worked, but I see
But we
how
also
they tried. because it's a reveal when the camera
Yeah.
pans down and you see
Yeah.
Damien still alive.
But we see it with the knowledge that there's several sequels.
Yeah, there's
so
multiple
we
sequels.
probably never would have bought that.
yeah, and the second one's called Damien. So
He's back in business. So he's somebody who essentially walks up into the back. We see the back of a man, and this person's talking to him, and he says, "Well, Mr. President, like when you're ready, your car is waiting for you." He's standing with a woman. The camera pans down. They're both holding the hands of Damien. He looks over his shoulder and does a kind of coquettish
Little
take to the
mischievous little-
camera.
Yeah. Not ultimately fulfilling for me because it's like, of course he survived. Of course there's more of this, but he
Yeah.
doesn't feel as malevolent as I think he could be. Or even maybe it's a period thing and he is in later movies or in remakes. He's more
what's weird?
hateful or evil.
It's weird because in this movie, up until that epilogue, they don't really. It seems like they're trying to say like Damien doesn't know what's happening. He's a pawn. He knows he's like uncomfortable with the churches, and he knows the dogs are special to him and all this stuff.
Yeah.
He knows people are protecting him, but he doesn't know that he's like
He's too
important.
little. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't get it. He's legit scared when somebody's trying to kill him. He doesn't know why. And then in the epilogue, it's like he smiles at the camera, so it's like, oh, okay, he gets it now.
Yeah.
He won. But then in the second one, it kicks off with teenage Damien in military school.
Oh, boy.
And
He's learning maneuvers.
yeah, and he like doesn't know. He like same thing. He kind of thinks there's some weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
but somebody has to come to him and be like, "You're the son of the devil."
Yeah.
and he looks at his own birthmark on his head, and
Let's rank it.
yeah,
Yeah. Kyle, we'll let you go last because it's your choice.
absolutely.
I'll jump in. I don't think. I think it's a thumbs up. I like. We talked a little bit about kind of like movies of this era where they kind of have less impact. But this one had some really kind of like thrilling or interesting deaths. I just like devil stuff.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about like our belief in whether or not like ghosts are real, things like that. I don't necessarily believe in it, but I kind of want to. And I think I'd be like Team Damien. When the time comes.
Yeah.
When the seas boil or when brother turns again. I don't have any brothers, so
Count me in.
nobody to turn on. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up for sure. I don't think it's particularly scary. Not really, right?
No.
I mean,
I thought it was scarier on this watch than I did the
The
initial time
previous
I
time.
watched it.
There's
maybe
a
it's just,
couple
like, the
of-
setting or the context.
Yeah.
It wasn't like giving things ones feels like a sort of backhanded,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like a slap across the face a little bit, like where it's like this is trash and it wasn't scary at all. And so I don't think it feels like a quality assessment. So I'll give it a 2. Not particularly scary, but I enjoyed it. I'm kind of like glad to have seen it, like as a kind of from a educational standpoint. I'm gonna give it 2 wedding turbans.
Oh yeah, the mom has great fashion.
She's got great looks, great
I
interior
think
design.
Peck's got some good looks in this too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This-
true.
Y'all were all feeling
the
that
fashion
turtleneck
is
look.
good.
Great turtleneck and blazer combo.
Damien also a snappy dresser.
Yeah,
Got
it's
that Angus
amazing
Young
how much
look.
money can help you be fashionable.
It's wild.
I am also going to give it a thumbs up. I do like this movie.
Hell yeah, hell yeah,
Nice.
hell yeah.
I think
hell
the
yeah.
acting's good. I think
Yeah.
yeah.
it's not a perfect movie, but like
Lord no.
I enjoyed it. And I'm gonna give it 3. 3 looks into puppy dog eyes.
3 dog hypnotisms.
Mhm.
This is an interesting thing though, where it's like kind of like serious actors doing kind of like.
Oh yeah.
This might have been a golden age for people doing like sort of campy or like genre things. Maybe we're getting back to that a little bit, but it's cool.
And I think like Gregory Peck was a little past his prime at this point.
Fair enough.
And this seems like a prestige. Like I don't think this would be considered like a campy
like
horror
schmaltzy
flick.
kind of.
It's a Hollywood
It's like-
movie.
Yeah,
fair enough.
it's
For sure.
Like along the lines of Rosemary's Baby. I don't know which came first, but
I like Rosemary's Baby.
Similar
Rosemary's Baby was in the
feel.
60s.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sort of an attempt at a prestige studio
Interesting.
movie. You can see the path and how it sort of just kind of didn't quite get there on the execution. But
Right.
let's throw a bunch of money at Gregory Peck. Let's get that Jerry Goldsmith score, which is a little bit cheesy, but also I find super effective.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it is that Catholic thing where you're just like, oh, I'm just hearing choral voices. Yeah. But then you realize that it's all like Ave Satani or whatever.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is wrong.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, Latin is scary.
Latin is scary.
I know, but I kind of like it. It was fun to hear Christmas Papa, Devil is.
You heard it here. Emma is also joining Damien's army. Emma and I will be. I
just want to be
soprano
a Damien SoundCloud rapper.
I'm going to be an alto in the choir.
Uh-huh.
What part do you sing?
Probably middle.
Yeah, same. All right.
Is that alto?
Baritone.
Yeah, I'm not a soprano. I wish I was.
Guys, I was at Claire's
love The
parents' house for
Sopranos.
Christmas, and fucking carolers showed up. Real world carolers.
Holy
and I was like,
shit.
I'm so embarrassed. And everybody went out, and I went into another room and put on headphones. I was like, this is so cringe.
You had the correct reaction.
Yeah.
It's unsettling.
There's a lot of people, a lot of churchy people in Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
Okay. Kyle, the time has come. Your selection for Evil Kids Week. Month.
Thumbs up. Of
course,
it's great. It's just like this perfect balance of campy, but also a little prestige-y. The acting is really solid in it all around, even if it's big.
Yeah.
It's still like good, I think.
Yeah, totally.
And again, like I think they really nail the like lore thing of just like they established all these rules of like this is how you got to kill him, and he's born on the 6th month. It's the 6th day of the 6th month at 6 a.m. It's like that stuff's all real stupid, but it's fun. It's really fun.
I feel like this is a movie that probably popularized a lot of those
Oh,
ideas.
totally.
Too. Like
Oh,
we all
yeah.
know
Well,
that stuff because of things like this.
We talked about earlier about whether Damien was a biblical name. I did look it up while we were talking, and it is not. It is an invention of this movie.
Okay,
like
well, there you
the
go.
reason we associate the name Damien with evil is the Omen.
And
That's
it's
wild.
666 also?
I feel like that
I
was.
think
a thing
that one's
already.
in the Bible.
Yeah.
They
Oh.
did throw
Mark
up that
movies.
scripture quote at the very end, which is totally unnecessary. Real weird move. But
Do that at the beginning,
yeah. Put
Maybe.
it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Weird to put it at the very end.
or maybe recite that Jews in Zion poem one less time and do that.
Really let
Oh.
us feel it.
Before we completely finish. Oh, you finish
Guys,
your,
go
yeah,
ahead.
you finish your thing.
Okay.
And then I'll say what I remember.
You sure you shouldn't go first on
Yeah.
this one? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so thumbs up. I think it's great.
yeah.
Again, love that score. Do own it on vinyl. I own maybe 6 records, and one of them is the Omen soundtrack.
It's all horror soundtrack.
It's mostly horror soundtracks.
And Pixies.
I got Doolittle, and I got Randy Newman's Sail Away, because it was only $7.
Kyle, we now know why those people at the record store thought you were a big fucking nerd.
It was $7!
Yeah, fair enough.
And also, that album slaps.
Also, Randy Newman is trash.
Randy Newman is wonderful
Okay.
and completely misunderstood.
The Pope once said that Randy Newman was a pile of filth. I'm just saying.
What?
What is your score?
What is
I
it?
give this movie, I'm going to split the diff, 2.5 listens of Sail Away by Randy Newman on my turntable.
Okay.
Actually, the real rating, I think, would be 2.5 trips down that little wagon slide. That
Oh,
riding.
that wagon slide was
That
cool.
wagon slide is fun.
2.5 warm embraces by that creepy clown. Emma, what's that
So
hot take?
I want us. No,
Oh.
it's not a hot
Oh.
take. It's we're gonna review all the movies we did this year very quickly, and then pick our favorite and our least favorite.
Okay. So we've
So
all got to
we
pull it up.
listened to Halloween. We watched Halloween, Creep,
I just got to look at the list. I'm just telling you.
Hereditary.
Okay.
Yeah, but the audience needs to know.
Okay.
The Invitation, Inside, A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Changeling, Silence of the Lambs,
I'm playing a podcast.
Friday the
Sorry.
13th, Scream, Unfriended, The People Under the Stairs,
Oh my God.
The Ring,
Stop. Unfriended.
The Witch, In the Mouth of Madness, The Babadook, Drag Me to Hell, Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon, things Kyle did, The Nun, I didn't watch that, Raw, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, The Exorcist, Halloween 2018, Gremlins, and Krampus.
Okay, so which
Obviously,
one of these?
Krampus is the best movie.
Which one of these is our favorite?
Yeah.
Well, we each get to pick our own.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah. We don't have to all agree because we'll never leave this room.
Oh man, it's tough to do the best one.
It is tough.
It is really tough. I have a few I liked.
Yeah.
I think either the Babadook or People Under the Stairs for me.
Yeah. I think so. If I were to just say my personal, like, devoid of any context, The Exorcist, I think, would still be at the top of this list because that is one of my favorite movies of all time. However, in the context of this project, I do think that either Unfriended Dark Web
Yep.
or The Babadook are tops for me, or Raw. That's sort of my top three.
This is my top three.
Because
This is my exact top three.
for all different reasons. Because Unfriended Dark Web was like a fun experience to go see a really campy, goofy movie.
I also think about Unfriended Dark Web.
Yes.
Most. It's because it used the internet all the time.
But I didn't see it.
Fair enough.
So it can't be on the
so
list.
It can't be.
Oh, it can't be on the list at all. Okay.
Listen, everybody picks their favorites. Emma is also has editorial control over everybody's favorite.
Pick again.
A Babadook is one of those movies that was
It's
legitimately
really
an
cool.
amazing movie.
Yeah.
I tell everybody when I tell them about this podcast or just horror movies in general come up, I'm like, if you haven't seen it, you've got to see it.
Yeah.
And then Raw is
So creepy.
is just very, very. It's like hitting all the right.
I,
kind of like
I would
markers
say,
for me.
yeah, I would say it's the same thing as the Babadook, where it's just like, oh, it's just like a really well made film.
Yeah.
I'd put the Babadook slightly above Raw,
Yeah.
just because I feel like Babadook has a little bit more substance to it. There's like more going on in Babadook for me personally that I connected with, as opposed to Raw.
One other dark horse top for me is Nightmare on Elm Street. It's my favorite of the like classic characters.
Cool,
And it was just it was like really scary and like held up really well. But
I liked it better than Friday the 13th
Definitely,
or
for
Halloween.
sure.
definitely.
So-
I'm gonna say Babadook.
Yeah, I'm going Babadook also.
And then Emma, what was yours again? Sorry.
It was either Babadook or People Under the Stairs. I think People Under the Stairs was the most fun for me
It was very fun.
because it was just like a fun
Romp.
romp.
It was maybe an effective comedy as a horror
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
But I guess best film, I would say Babadook.
Oh man,
We're in
coming out
agreement.
hard.
Babadook.
This fucking
Now-
group's unanimous.
Our least favorite.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
And also caveat.
Nothing to do with the
Nothing
guest
to do
or
with
the
the guest.
episode.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Yeah,
100%.
I think like I honestly might say Inside, but I think that's one of our best episodes. I just fucking hated that movie. It was torture.
Yeah, it is. It was the most agonizing viewing experience, except
I
for
see that it's an
Hereditary,
okay
which we
movie.
didn't talk about in the fucking. It's one of
Yeah.
our lost episodes. But it was weirdly enough one of my favorite memories.
Yeah.
I'm proud of us that we did it
Yeah.
so early.
Yeah.
It's truly insane.
It's truly insane that we did it when we did it. I think my least favorite is probably going to be The Nun. It was just so joyless and boring. But I guess that can't be on the list. Again, editorial.
No,
Or will
I'm
you
okay
allow
with
it
that
for
for
the least?
worst because
Okay.
like I didn't see it. I don't care.
Well, if we were going to go not that, then I'd have to say Behind the Mask.
Yeah, that was not a great movie.
I think maybe I'd throw Changeling in there because to me it like is of a similar era to what we just watched and
Yeah.
was less effective from a thrills and chills
Yeah.
perspective.
Sure.
So maybe
Fair
that.
point. The more stuff from the late 70s that we watch,
Yeah.
the more the shine comes off of the Changeling. It's
I
just
also,
like,
I mean, you guys might not remember this, but I really hated Halloween.
The original Halloween?
Absolutely.
I don't remember that.
I do
Ugh.
remember this because I remember thinking, oh,
There's
this was
no
a mistake.
character.
Our first and last
I've
There's
made a
no
huge mistake.
characterization.
Yeah. But in a way, it's interesting because that was like when a lot of our recurring gripes were like initially discovered.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like the sort of like motifs that we
Yeah.
hate, that we kind of
But it's too scary for me, also, and I didn't like it.
Welcome to our podcast within a podcast. We are definitely afraid of the dark. It's a podcast about our podcast. We are definitely afraid of the dark.
people who are too scared to listen to
The podcast.
really scattered recaps, real loose with the details. Also, to be fair, I'm throwing Krampus in the mix. Krampus
Yeah,
sucks.
not
Krampus
great.
was bad.
Not great. Not great.
But I think for me, I'm going Babadook favorite, Changeling least.
Babadook favorite, The Nun least.
Babadook favorite. Halloween least.
Oh my god.
I love
Mostly because I know how mad it's going to make so many
that's-
people. It's a fucking terrible movie.
Extremely spicy.
There was an opportunity for Michael Myers to kill a baby in the Halloween remake, and he did not do it. Very disappointed. All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Anybody got anything to plug?
Oh, yeah. Wednesdays in January. Come see 3 on a Match. Open for Garage at the Fallout Theater.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
8
that's
p.m.
fun. Couple things. 1 hour till air is opening at Coal Town Saturdays at 8:30.
8:30. I'm also in that one.
8:30.
When that?
In January, starting first weekend in
Okay.
January, running through
Sometime in
mid-February, sometime in February. Second thing, I'm going to plug this podcast.
Yeah, baby.
Go rate and review this on iTunes. I just checked it the other night. We got a couple new reviews on there. Some nice things people are saying.
Oh, tight.
Leave us a 5-star. That helps us out a ton. Please do that.
Right.
Like the page, all that stuff. Share our stuff. That helps so much. Tell a friend.
I'm extremely not online lately, so you'd have to be a Charon to find me. But thanks for leaving those reviews. That's great.
Yeah.
That people are doing that. I think, yes, tell a friend, tell as many people as possible. And I will say, ostensible spoiler alert, we've sort of discussed it but haven't committed to it yet. But I think in a few months, we're probably going to do a theme that is maybe user-submitted picks and requests, kind of like based on a theme. So keep an eye out for that. And in the meantime, share this with your friends.
Wet Daddy Appreciation Month, we'll call it.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Cool. Maybe we'll get some merch. Maybe whoever's movies we pick, we send them exclusive Wet Daddy swag.
I love it.
Okay, we're doing it.
brainstorming on
We're
the
committing
air.
to
We're
it.
definitely doing it. We're committing to it.
Much like the website before it, we are committing to this idea.
We gotta get that
100%
website done.
execution. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.